Alright, welcome back to another stream with AC4 Black Flag. For a special Saturday stream, I guess, because I don't actually stream that often on Saturdays nowadays. And yeah, we're gonna be continuing, of course, with our 2023 annual series run of the AC games, released by Ubisoft Montreal. And of course, the Stealth and All Mission Objectives Challenge. And yeah, currently we are at 18 detections total. A couple being added last time. And already in sequence 10, I believe. Was it 9? I think we're pretty much sequence 10 now. So that means we're also getting closer to the last Abstergo Interlude before the end. So yeah. Let's go ahead and get back into this. We still have a bit of side stuff left. Mainly the rest of the assassin contracts and the Templar hunt. So I want to be focusing on that today first, and then we can focus on sequence 10 afterwards. Also gonna go ahead and pick up some money here. Yeah, 45k. That ain't too bad. I'm gonna go for the classic outfit here. Hey, the goodie. Welcome in. Daily mission is passed. Successfully claim first. Okay. Let's see. I think there's actually one location left that I haven't explored yet, and that's Florida. It's a pretty small one though, so we're gonna just head over here to San Ignacio Wreck and head north there. It might be we have the last letter there actually, something.
Get the mainsails into the wind! Close down! Man your shoots! Something down below us, sir! Take my sugar! Take anything you like!
Indeed. Yeah, we do have a letter here. Number 15. Okay, that means we have 1 to 19, right? So I think this would actually be a good time to read it, because at verse number 20, then it's just gonna be like a final kind of like saying. And we'll probably find this on the location of the observatory as well, I think. So yeah, let's go ahead and actually start reading on the letters from the sage. Now this is another one before the one we see in Black Flag, called Black Bart or Bartholomew Roberts. One the Templars have been trying to capture and get his blood to get entrance to the observatory. Because he's actually a human based on one of the first civilization people. Because they use the technology to transfer their consciousness into being reborn into different and random humans across the earth. And that can even mean that there's gonna be multiple or like multiple at the same time period even. And this one in particular is born in 1652, so I guess the most previously known prior to Bartholomew Roberts. On my name and origin. To any and all who may read this missive, know first that I am Tom Kavanagh, born 1652, formerly of Boston, now of the world, living in the year 1706. Taken to isolation long ago in the place of my ancestors in pursuit of peace and steadiness of my spirit. My story is a singular one, for I make no claim to greatness or nobility. Yet there is such an amount of strangeness in my blood, it bears mention, with a wish that a better understanding may come from my situation, and with a hope that, if there be any other in the world who suffer the same perturbations of a mind as I have since birth, I might find in me a kindred soul, and a friendly voice to guide them to the calmer shores of sanity. In plain words, I was born a creature of two sorts, one being my own, newly minted and fresh upon the world stage, yet the other being an old and wise thing, as old as the universe itself may be. Two souls therefore, in a single body, competing for supremacy. For as long as I have been a thinking being, I have felt these two tides stirring within me. How this mysterious incorporation should have occurred shall be the subject of future letters. No worries, Harbinger. Thank you for joining regardless. I hope you're having a good weekend so far. And yeah, I'm gonna be on for about 4 hours total. So yeah, maybe see you later for that still. Early opinions of my condition. From birth, I was known to my parents and neighbors as a boy of strange habits and impulses. My eyes being of unequal color and dimension, always invited odd comment and query, being so easy to discern. But my behavior was also noticeably queer. I was given to gesticulations of a mysterious sort. Signs and symbols that appeared to my parents to portend a meaning they couldn't decipher. It was also said that I never did cry or protest, strange for a babe, but likely a comfort to my dear mother. I gained the gift of speech in my 12th month, my first words being my love and beloved. My parents seized upon this as a good sign of robust intelligence, but couldn't have been much pleased with what such words implied, and right they were to be anxious, for at such a time that I should have called these kind shepherds mother and father. By the age of 2 years, I had already taken to refer to them as Elizabeth and Thomas. A queer sort of quirk for an infant, it needn't be said, but this was my impulse, and until I'd passed through adolescence, was a practice I stuck to. Kavak showing that the consciousness of Ada is very strong, that even though he's born to humans, he thinks of himself as superior, you know, which is why he doesn't call them mother or father, which gives him kind of like authority. He calls them by their, you know, names. And that's like at 2 years old. Yeah, sounds good, Harbinger. I'm gonna be trying to get as close to the ending as possible today. Not gonna be finishing it today, but yeah, probably try to get done with sequence 10 and the next Abstergo part. And there's 2 more sequences left, which we're probably gonna finish on Wednesday, actually. Of the place of my birth. Of a city I called home for nigh 2 decades, I have nothing but fond memories. Boston was a place of great beauty and peace. My father was a cobbler by trade, and my mother kept a modest house as she raised me as best as she could. And together we lived along the southern shores near the wharves that saw the tall ships in their comings and goings, shutting all manner of goods to and from this young colony. I remember being always fascinated by those ships and the promise of adventure they presaged, and it wasn't for want of distraction or imagination that I spent many a morning sitting upon the docks to watch them enter the harbor from locations afar, or disappear from it, sinking into the horizon as silently as a dream. I wondered then what lay beyond the thin line of azure, and wondering set the course of my desire. I wished to travel, to discover. So it was that I knew from those early days I would not live out my life in Boston. I would range far and wide in search of the source of the strange secrets within me. Of that, more shall be writ at another time. But let it be known that I was content for a time and that I loved my parents very much. My first reverie. I recall with great clarity the day of my first reverie. Heretofore I had only the sense of my bicameral mind. But on this day I was offered a glimpse as if through a window into a second buried soul, into the second life within me. I was 4 years of age, and it was a fresh autumn day. I was out with my parents upon an excursion, strolling above a place called Beacon Hill. We, having only concluded our picnicking, now ranged above a peak to take a view of the city below. It was then a coolness fell upon me. The world seemed to darken and glow all at once. I fell back, landing, it seemed, into a pair of cuddling arms. The voice said to me, "O beloved, go take your rest." As eerie as this was, a deep loss suffused me. The voice went on, "Your sacrifice will not have been in vain, and though you must pass from this life, I will see you renewed, reborn to remain at my side forever." Never before and rarely since had I felt such a depth of adoration. Then the skies cleared and the whole world lighted, and I woke supine, with my parents booming over me, looming, calling my name. So that's of course Juno talking to the sage here, to her husband, moments before he died. Because he actually died by Juno's hands, right? Juno made sure that his consciousness would get into the machine to be reborn into humans. But she killed him off because he was in a really bad state and couldn't be reanimated, I guess. My deepening predicament. It is with deep sadness I should now relate to the genesis of my feeling of great isolation from my parents, even at so young an age, and my powerful sense that I was too much different from them, meaning that they would have become, born me and raised me. I seemed not of the issue, nor of a kind, and the reverie described previously cast this feeling in a firmer mode. I seemed not to be of this world at all. Indeed, there were days when I felt not remotely human at all, but of another kind of a creature entire. Between the time of my 4th year and my 40th, I was given to such a profusion of reveries and ideas and dreams that I should sound mad to describe them. Yet by outward appearance I was as normal as any lad, and further, was never particularly troubled by what crossed my mind. Visions of great cities made of glass, portraits of beautiful men and women in great flowing robes, machines that generated lightning as easily as thunderclouds, vehicles that flew in the skies as birds. As I say, ideas and visions too fanciful to be entertained by any sane minds, yet all too real in my head to be ignored. So those are the ancient memories of the first civilization. Since it was even further advanced than we are today, we had all of these things already. But something happened that caused the downfall, which is like a great catastrophe essentially hitting the Earth. My apprenticeship. When I was age 14 years, my father, feeling I should discover some better skill or trade sensible to my habits of mind, apprenticed me to a master carpenter, a joiner called Jonathan Davenport of Boston. Master Davenport had then mainly slaves and 2 other white boys in his employee, one a bricklayer by trade and the other a carpenter, both not terribly clever. But seeing in me a certain spark of intelligence and wit, Master Davenport was all too keen to place me as a joiner, and I was happy to oblige, with a position earning me some £2 a year in great satisfaction of spirit. The joiner's work requires a nice and steady hand and a great taste in ornament, both qualities Master Davenport told me I had in large measure. And so it was with great pride that well prior to the customary 7 years, I took leave to my master after only 5, and set out on my own at 19 years of age to seek my success. Now man and master in my own right. My master was not sad to see me go, but bade me good fortune, for he knew in his heart that I was the greatest talent he had yet apprenticed. For there is something of a natural genius in you, lad, a wisdom beyond your years. And so packing a kit of all my worldly possessions, I bid my mother and father much love and farewell, then took passage on a merchant brig bound for Jamaica, the West Indies, where need for carpenters of skill were greatly needed. On leaving home. It pains me not to think on my feelings of my departure from Boston, and from my dear parents, who raised me so well, for in hindsight I think perhaps I should have been melancholy, or anxious at the least. Yet leaving home at so spry an age, ranks as one of the great joys of my life. Never before since did I feel such an embrace of freedom. Yet not all concerning my leaving was joyous, as it was around this time that the voices came upon me strong, much like a man whispering in my ears. These voices were never sinister in nature, nor did they prevent mature dealings with my fellow men. But unlike my reveries, which came to me in my sleep or in daydreams, these voices came upon me at times inconvenient to my present purpose. Day and night they intruded without provocation, and though they were not constant, they were certainly frequent in nature, and strangest of all, have the qualities of memories. There were times too that I seemed to hear my own voice among them. Was it possible that I have heard conversations from a previous life? Memories of those I knew, memories of engagements long past. In the next letter, I shall relate what were perhaps the most confounding snatches of conversation. What the voices said. Here I relate one such memory, repeated at nauseam through the whole of my life. Myself, a man, and 2 women. A woman. As biological traits are passed from one generation to another, why should we not engineer the humans to pass learned information to their offspring as well? It is well within our scope. And here another woman interrupts. Never. Already we have made them sturdy and strong. Why should we give them with new advantages over us? We're dying. The war is tilting against us. We should discover a means for our own salvation, not theirs. And here the men disagreed. Our time is done. The instruments of our will shall soon be our masters, and we shall fade away. Perhaps not in 10 or 20 years, but certainly the century is our last. Why not therefore give the humans with added faculties for wisdom and growth? Why not let them pass on the accumulations of our learning from one generation to the next? By ever ascending degrees, the humans shall be as wise as we are. And here I seem to speak. It can be done. By simple manipulation of the code within the blood, we could improve a lot. And here the second woman screams, absolutely not. Then the memory is ended. I feel like this might be a conversation between Minerva, Juno, Aita, and Jupiter. Minerva kind of like suggesting that they should improve on the human genes. Juno being against it, of course. Jupiter kind of like accepting that the end is coming. And Aita kind of like coming up with a solution, which Juno might not be too fond of. But that's just a theory on my end. Definitely not confirmed, I don't think. curious incident at sea. Upon my route to the West Indies, a curious incident aroused in me a revelation. It was a wanton act of violence that I witnessed, one that proved fatal only to its instigator. A pardoned pirate named Savory, who had come aboard to work off his debts as an honest Christian, had died a devil full of drink after mistaking the reasonable abjurations of his fellow men for insults. He was taken by a self-inflicted pistol shot, sustained as he attempted to load his piece in preparations of the first of 6 duels which he had arranged as challenges against our group. All of us were sad for his misfortune, but none were sorry that our crew grew quieter in his absence. And yet, at seeing the poor chap wound himself so, at witnessing the blood freely flowing from his body, a notion sprung upon me like an idea long dormant, already within me yet awaiting a chance to reappear. Thence came a phrase I had heard before, springing to my mind. The code in their blood. Suddenly it was sensible to me. The code of life, like a shipbuilder's draughts in miniature, yet responsible for building each and every man and woman on Earth. How was it that such an idea made perfect sense to me? How was it I understood already that which had no precedent in the most modern philosophies? The code of life, in our blood. Imagine. These ideas swirled within me for many weeks upon that voyage, spinning in such a maelstrom of thought I could not articulate them. Finding steady work. Reaching Jamaica, I pushed all idle thoughts and fantasies from my mind, and set about finding myself employment. A letter of endorsement from my mentor, Mr. Davenport, hastened my success, and within a fortnight I was able to secure an interview with an agent working for the estimable Mr. Peter Beckford, a man known wide across the West Indies as one of honor and good intelligence. As I must say, Boss's agent for the man hired me on the spot, and within a 2 days' time was I set to work upon the slave quarters, fitting them with sturdier doors and tighter roofs. For my own accommodations I am well pleased to tell they were fine. 3 windows had I, 2 of which looked upon the cane fields. When opened, a light breeze filled my room, one settled with the raw perfume of a nearby sea, and the distant sound of a hushing ocean surf. Often too the spiritual songs of the Negroes hard at work entered, and gave me a deep calm. It was pleasant there. Only this comfort could not mask the dread I felt at the thought of catching the yellow fever, or another of the innumerable ailments that often struck those newly arrived to their parts. For my part, I saw well over 70 men and women perish from the disease within 6 months of my arrival. It seemed then that for every success I had, another 2 or 3 potential hazards lay in wait, and as time would tell, this proved most unfortunately true. Also very fitting for him, you know. He's kind of like securing the prisons, essentially, for the slaves. And he's overseeing the slaves' work, you know, like a lot of the Isu did, essentially, using the humans as slaves. So it makes sense for him to enter that line of work, you know. It's kind of like in his DNA. Peter Beckford, the Elder. Of my employer I must say something, for it was owing to his connections that I came to find such troubled dealings. Peter Beckford was a man of great charisma and pride. In 1662 he had come to Jamaica, and in just 10 years had fast procured himself a sizable portion of land, which he had sold with gain as early as he was able. Upon my coming into his orbit, he claimed all about him, one of the largest private holdings of land in the world, rivaling only kings and emperors for its largesse. The same surplus applied to the number of slaves in his employ. Whereas he had arrived in Jamaica with a complement of 3, he now owned the better part of 300. A shrewd and relentless man of business, Mr. Beckford was known also to be subservient to a Templar of cyclonic power. Wrath and fury and enmity were his primary means of settling arguments that couldn't be concluded in Mr. Beckford's immediate favor. He was, however, always kind to me, and as gracious a man as one could hope an employer to be. But this I put down to my status in his eyes. He was a traditional man with a respect for rank and breeding. In earlier times he had been the governor de facto of the island, and though statesman no longer upon my arrival, he still bore all the signs of a man who felt it his natural duty to lead. However, His political connections he valued as deeply as his sugar, and the money it brought him. And it was in this capacity, following the arrival of a Spanish soldier, that I met the man who would change my life for the worse, forever. A young man named Laureano Torres. And that's of course the Templar Grandmaster in the current time. Like 1715 to 1720. Hey there, Carbon. Welcome in. And good morning to you. Thank you for joining. I hope you're having a good weekend so far. The Templar arrives. It was in April of 1673 when I espied the galleon in Kingston's harbour, flying the colours of a man of Holland, which I thought queer but not unlikely. This was a ruse, however, for the ship's cargo was most assuredly Spanish. A gentleman called Torres, once a soldier in the Spanish army, now an emissary on behalf of his king. Also said to be he to Peter Beckford. I learned later that he called himself a Templar, and had made his visit to Beckford's plantation to look upon Master Beckford's strange collection of collected manuscripts. Torres was 2 days with Mr. Beckford when another object took his full attention, namely me. The sight of my face stirred in him a strange sort of excitement, which I found altogether untoward at first, until he had plied me with questions that shocked me to the core of my being. Said he to me one evening after supper, "Hear your voices, Mr. Kavanagh? How's that?" I answered, feigning ignorance, or shaking in truth. Voices, from the dark of your mind, or memories to be clearer, as if from another life entire. And here I was terrified. How was it that this man knew the odd riddle of my life, as if it were a bane effect of history? "I know not what you mean, Master Torres," said I, and took my leave of him, so anxious as I was. "Good night to you, sir," said he, as I departed. "We shall speak again when you are rested and ready to talk." Still shaken, I bade him good night, and made for my bedchamber, feeling another reverie coming strong upon me. When I reached my bed, I fell into both. Another frightful reverie. Here I relate another reverie, myself and a woman. "Beloved," said she, a voice so intimate and familiar. "Our colleagues conspire against us. They differ and sigh, resigned to take to their fates, content to champion the humans. But there's hope for us. There's a chance we might inure our bodies to the chilling world, the poison atmosphere, and the war itself. Will you aid me? Will you submit?" And here I hear my own voice in answer. "Yes, beloved. What must I do?" "Transference," said she. "The shuttling of our minds from these old bodies into new forms. Mechanical body perhaps, or into those of our instruments, our humans. In short, I believe there may be a way to transfer all we know and all we are into other forms. In this way we may survive the coming cataclysm and live to see our people repopulate the earth, and recover her from those who foolishly set loose upon it." "Transference," I said aloud. "Our minds into alternate vessels? A dangerous prospect, but reasonable." "Yes," said she. "And who better to make this leap than you, my beloved husband, with a mind unparalleled, a constitution unrivaled, architect of the Observatory, overseer of Eden's tools, the brightest light in our civilization. If you are not capable of making this leap, perhaps no one is." And here replied I will do this for you, beloved, for us and our people. It's crazy to think about what kind of technological mind Aita had, you know. He created the Observatory, he was the overseer for the pieces of Eden, And he was the creator of a method to make people become sages, essentially. The Assassin. Lost as I was in my reverie, I failed to see the envelope shipped neath the door of my bedchamber. It read thus: "Dear sir, forgive the alarm I must have raised with my queries, but you have the exact likeness of a man of my colleagues and I have longed to meet. Allow me an audience and I will explain all. Your friend, Laureano Torres. I pondered this letter for some time that evening, wondering what it could mean that I had the exact likeness of a man he knew, and why it should raise so much intrigue. I wondered at this for hours, pacing above the room with a mind to slip from my chamber, when of a sudden I heard a rapid succession of reports from pistols and rifles, outside in the garden. To my ear it sounded as if a war had begun, with me a bystander at its center. I dropped to my knees and hid on the far side of my bed, away from the window, and shut my eyes. But as I did this, a voice called out to me from my chamber door. "Mr. Kavanagh," it said. I raised my head and opened my eyes, and there saw a figure cutting a terrible outline, hooded and robed in a dusky sienna. The man lifted a small pipe to his lips and blew. I felt a sting upon my neck, as if from a mosquito. I opened my mouth to protest, but thereupon a wave of fatigue took me, and I fell fast asleep. Rest and repaced. I awoke some days hence in a bustling native village in the presence of that same man, many leagues from where I had called my home. The native himself, with a strong and serious but gentle face, he named himself Balaam, and bade me not to be frightened. Strangely, I wasn't, for his demeanor was calm and his words were kind. I asked him why he had brought me to this place. His surprise seemed genuine, and he told me, "You are a sage. Your face tells it plain. Your eyes most of all." I didn't know what to make of this suggestion. He went on. "You are but one of a long lineage of identical men born outside their original time. Your likeness and your soul are a pattern, repeated through the ages. Oftentimes a century or more passes without the appearance of another sage. Other times, two are born in the same decade. We know not why." It dashed my brains, but all he spoke was known to me in some intrinsic way, and yet it frightened me all the same. How could it be that I was a man reborn? How could it be that I had already lived one life and had plotted through a second, still pondering the first? I spent many a day with this man Balaam, and in that time he told me all he knew, and asked questions of his own he hoped I might answer. The Observatory. For several days I stayed with my captor Balaam, asking him all manner of questions, and he asking the same of me, and all the while I wondered what fate he had intended for me. At last, on the 7th day, I revealed what lay heavy on my heart. "What do you want of me, sir, that you keep me prisoner so?" And at this Balaam laughed and answered, "You are no prisoner, sage. You may take your leave at any point. Only tell us where you wish to be dropped, and if it be in our power, we shall transport you thence." This answer surprised me, then angered me. Why then did you spirit me away with such a diabolical method, kidnap no less? And said he in answer, "Your master hosted a Templar, it may not be one himself. Such men are not to be trusted with a prize so valuable as you. Steer clear of them, for they seek the knowledge that hides in your mind. Your dreams, your memories, and the location of a place once dear to you, the Observatory." This word rang in my ears, for I had heard it before. Another memory from a time long ago. "And what do you desire of me, sir?" I asked him. "Would you steal the secrets buried within me too?" Balaam smiled. "I wouldn't shun them, but to share them is a point for you to decide. Your secrets are your own, and yours alone to lend." Taking my leave. After my difficult counsel with Balaam, I took a day to ruminate on what should be done. Notions strange and uncertain battled in my head for supremacy, and I was never on one idea long before its opposite seemed a better option. Yet at last made my decision. "Sir, you have been gracious with me," I told him, "and my trust in you is complete. Yet I cannot share my visions and memories without first understanding them myself. I must therefore take my leave and travel in secret to a place that has occupied my thoughts for many years." Balaam smiled and said, "I understand well, and I believe in your cause. To find the source of your reveries will do you great good. Go therefore and answer these riddles. We will provide you with supplies to see you safely embarked." To which I replied, "Thank you, sir." and if what I find satisfies me, I will return hither and provide you with answers that may satisfy you as well. In the days following, Balam was true to his word. With his young son Atabai in Tau, he transported me first into a fishing village near his own compound, and supplied me with maps and coin before issuing a warning. The Templars are lately come to the West Indies, and this Taurus is their Grand Master, and though few now in number, there must soon be others. Take heed of them, and trust not their entreaties, for what they cannot earn by conversation, they would take by force. And with this, and a hearty goodbye, I took my leave of his assassin, and set off for parts unknown, a vague sense of purpose pulling me forward. So we have Atabai being named. He's of course the assassin mentor of the colonial assassins at this point. My search. After leaving Balam, I set out in a sloop of my own and traveled for nigh 1 year above the West Indies, sailing with a small crew to all manner of jungles and players and beaches, looking for a sign or landform that might spark in me a memory. Along my way I met fine people who did me a great kindness, and offered work in exchange for more provisions. In this way I came to know the people of the New World and of the Old, and found in all of them the same hopes and desires. To travel is to live the finest education. Then after my 30th month a roving, I found my object well inland on a known island. Here it was, the place Balam had called the Observatory. Oh, what memories of the location aroused. Well prior to clapping eyes upon its structure, I knew I had come to the correct spot. Leaving my men ashore, I passed alone through jungles and deep ravines, coming at last upon the spot, and then marveled at its strange and foreboding presence. Without prompt, I knew what to do. I pressed my finger into what I knew to be a portal, and upon its opening I passed inside. What I saw there, however, shall remain a mystery, for the world isn't yet ready to hear my tales, which should sound like the sorcery to all, but my friend Balam, and perhaps the Templars who likely chase me still. On being a sage. I remained alone at the observatory's location, plumbing its secrets, although while besieged by such an influx of reveries, it would require a tome twice the size of a Bible to relate them all. Let it suffice to say that I came to understand the nature of the two souls within me, and I am now content. After near on a week there, I was visited by a group of natives from the island, people of the Tiano tribe, I believe. They spotted me first, and might have killed me straight away, yet my utter surprise not widened my eyes to such a degree that the unusual qualities were seen by all. At seeing me thus, the natives stopped and dropped to their knees with slow gesticulations. I understood at once that these men were sworn to protect this place, and in my further conversations with them since, I've made out that it was a previous sage who had employed them so, or more precisely, I should say employed their ancestors thus for nearly 150 years had passed since the last sage had come this way. I am told his grave lies nearby, but is unmarked and inaccessible. It has now been over 4 decades since my arrival at the sacred place, and only one question yet lingers in my mind. How many more of my sort have been here in total? Near 80 millennia have passed since our inception, and I am apt to believe the number is quite high, but I cannot know for certain. But let that not trouble you, reader, for if you have followed my story entire, look you for my final missive in the place where I will soon surely lay, hidden near the observatory where I have instructed the guardians of this place to bury me, when my passage across the mortal coil is at its end. Therefore, fare thee well until then. And that are the letters written by the sage. Yeah, quite a bit of reading. That's really cool, you know, kind of like having all that insight into the mind of a sage and also a first civilization people, you know. Because these conversations I've heard of like Juno and Minerva, you know, are like direct insight into the time. And we didn't have much of it yet in the series, you know. during like actual quotes from a time. But it's cool how it's kind of like setting up all of the characters on either side of a conflict, you know, with Taurus and Atabai being the masters on in either organization. I think that's everything, isn't it? Yeah, I can head back. Jesus. Hit the Jector. That's completely fine. Hey there, Hitpix, welcome in. Yeah, it's going really good actually. We're getting quite close to finishing off the game. I've basically explored the entire map already. And yeah, I'm only missing one Templar hunt and a couple assassin contracts before we can fully finish with sequence 10, 11 and 12. So I think the next stream is gonna be probably the last one of this game. How about you? How's Rogue going for you? Tomb Raiders. A group of British grave robbers is active in this area, looking for cemeteries to ransack. Put a stop to their appalling activities.
¡Informad! ¡Hay algo! ¡Informad! ¡Hay algo! ¡Informad! ¡Hay algo! Quiero verlo personalmente. Avisadme si veis algo, lo que sea. ¿Quién tiene el mapa? Quiero verlo personalmente. Cuidad cada centímetro de este lugar. No dejéis piedras sin alzar ni arbustos sin remover. El tesoro podría estar en cualquier parte. Informa.
¡Puedo hacerlo! ¡Desde aquí puedo darle!
Seriously? But I hate the Berserk Darts detection sometimes.
¡Puedo abatirlo de un tiro!
It's like you're super far away and they still will like inside attack you. Hipix, it's good, just Kid Hope and felt so bad about killing Adivali. Yeah, that's understandable. I think they really did him bad in that game. You know, killing him off like that. Also, the reason, you know, for Shay to kill him, like, there's literally nothing wrong that Adivali has done, you know. In fact, after the earthquake on Haiti, you know, he was there to take care of the civilization, you know, and try to help them as much as possible. He stood up for the oppressed and especially for the slaves, of course, at the time. So literally nothing he did was like ever considered to be bad, even by Templars. And yet Shay killed him because he's a symbol for the assassins, essentially. Fuck that. And I think it's very fitting what Adivali says, you know, when he says, Shay, you've become a monster. And Shay even admits, you know, perhaps I have become a monster. Because Adivali's death was like literally unnecessary. Especially with Shay kind of like trying to be, you know, morally upright, you know. That's his reason to betray the assassins in the first place. And then he does something like that. Yeah, I mean, I guess like Adivali could have also died in a different manner. Like he could have died to sickness or even like older age, you know, because he's quite a bit older than Achilles, isn't he? Or maybe they are the same age actually. But yeah, I mean, Achilles is certainly in an age where he could have been dead already for a couple of years. When AC3 takes place, I guess. Just really annoying that that's how he died, you know. The freaking guy who makes his own luck. Yeah, Adivali deserved better. A last drink for the road. This Templar associate hopes to regulate and control the rum trade in the West Indies, using force and violence. His next rendezvous will take place in Arroyos. Find and kill him.
Yo creo que debería pagar la multa. Lo dejarán en paz.
He visto lo que hacen si no pagas.
Pero claro, si el viejo Tom sigue pagando, ¿qué les impide ir a por todos nosotros?
You need to vanish, friend.
Solo pido una parte razonable. El 70% bastará. Eso es demasiado. Debo mantener mi negocio para que mis hijos puedan comer.
¿Quieres mantener tu negocio y a tus hijos? Pagarás ahora.
He's actually escaping with his ship here. But our ship should be scripted to get over here as well. Never mind, it's over here, right? So we gotta chase him down here. Big's playing the game for himself. It doesn't feel good that Jay separated himself from the Order and is somewhat disgusted about what Master Kenway does. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's true in a way. But yeah, ultimately, I guess he's still, you know, following the orders in a way. And what kind of annoys me a little bit with Shay is that in the beginning of the game he's like always questioning his authority, like all the time. Then as soon as you know, he joins the Templars, he's like actively getting manipulated and is just trusting them straight up. Because it's very evident that you know, some of the Templars are like manipulating him. You learn more about like the manuscript and everything, and of course how the assassins operate. Got him. That's how I finish an assassin contract. Fuck. Here enemy crew and there's not even two more. Fuck. Can't finish this because there's not more people spawning. Are you kidding me? And I can't cancel the boarding either, right? Fuck. That's stupid. Oh, never mind. The snipers up here, aren't there? There's like literally 15 people. Because usually he's still standing as well. What's happening? Like usually you have way above 15 people. You know, that's how many you have to kill. So it's weird he had to kill exactly the entire crew. Yeah, Black Flag has definitely been a bit glitchy past couple of streams. which is one of many things that happened. But yeah, that finishes the assassin contracts in Arroyos. Let's make our way to Havana, then we can start with a Templar hunt there. Also kinda wanna visit general store here, so we can refill ammunition and stuff.
Buenos días, señor.
I could actually buy the white whale skin now, so we can craft the whaler outfit. $20k, quite expensive, but it doesn't spawn that often, I guess, because it's an online event. So just want to make sure we have that crafted actually. Traditional whaler's outfit, sturdy and comfortable in extreme conditions. We're also gonna go ahead and add that to the outfit reward. Okay. Waiting is probably the most cruel way of hunting. Yeah, it is quite brutal. But hey, I do like the outfit though.
It's Rhona, right?
Kenway, looking for trouble, I assume?
So you haven't lost your charm.
And you're still boozy as a swilter. What do you want?
I've come to warn you. Your life's in danger.
Aren't you the crafty one? Whatever gave it away?
Possibly I had a hand in selling a sensitive document to one of those Templar chaps you're so fond of.
Congratulations, your mission was a success.
How can I make amends?
You sober enough for target practice?
Anything for a lady.
Help me kill these men.
I like how the outfit's actually quite similar, you know. If the red happened, you have like the bluish waistband. So these are of course forced combat scenarios, yeah?
They're coming from the left. Fire a snapper at that keg! Why not set a powder keg for more boom? Try a powder keg over there. They're coming from everywhere! Fire at the powder keg! Try a powder keg over there! Set a trap with powder kegs!
Yeah, exactly. I think Haven would have been a much better character to, you know, have like backstory for. Because even though we had the book Forsaken, you know, I feel like there's so much more we could have told with him. It's also the more intriguing kind of like Templar protagonist, I think, and the reason he became a Templar. And as you say, like, would have really paid justice to like the Kenway trilogy, you know, having like another Kenway as the active protagonist.
So, is this your new persona? Sir Edward of Havana rescues damsels in distress.
And does it suit me, Mopsy?
Better than your old personality. Really, Edward, why are you here?
Yes. Well, there's a key. Most likely in the pocket of your Templar suitor. I need it.
Really? And why don't I want this key for myself?
Rhona, I know you're no stranger to a man's boots, but the suit this key unlocks won't fit you.
I'll tell you what. If I think of a chore that requires the help of an especially simple fellow, I'll let you know.
Alright, before we do the next one, I actually wanna do a assassin contract in between here. Because there's at least a little bit of time that passes between this Templar division and the next. She could have a tailored, and you'll be lurking. No worries, hit picks. Thanks for the lurk. And hope you have a great weekend. Beach Bonfire. A privateer working for the Templars as a fence is believed to be hiding in Havana's poor district. Locate and kill him.
¡Un buen golpe! ¡Golpealo!
El último fue un gran trabajo. Esos cachorros franceses perdieron todo lo que tenían.
¡Golpealo!
Y luego tuvieron que volver a Francia a nado.
¡Golpealo!
thief in the market.
Have you reconsidered my offer, Rhona?
Yes, as I'm indisposed, and my sense of duty runs deeper than my pride, there's a situation I hope you can investigate.
Go on.
Mind, I said investigate a situation, not create one.
Yes, Mum. What is it?
A rash of thefts and mischief. Seems too convenient it started at the same time as these bureau attacks. Could you see what you can find out round the market?
A boozy swill tab like me. Are you sure? I won't let you down.
It would be hard to get much lower than this.
Yeah, she doesn't believe yet that Edward has changed. And, I mean, who could blame her? Okay, that's a force detection apparently. Oh, never mind. It's he's getting chased himself. But yeah, we gotta be high profile here. Otherwise we will lose him. Okay. That works. I should go up here. Another assassin contract. No more taxes. A corrupted officer stealing from merchants in Havana's rich district and using the money to fund Templar operations elsewhere. There he is.
Por el oro y la riqueza, aunque hoy ando bien cernido.
hagas.
Alright, that works.
Lárgate de aquí echándole.
Hey there, Chaotic. Welcome in. This game is a childhood. Nice. It's definitely a good, you know, game. You have nostalgic memories for, that's for sure. I actually quite like Havana as like a parkour city location. You can really tell they put like more effort into connecting of rooftops and trees and stuff than they did in other cities. Spanish commander. A military camp is set up in Havana's commercial district. Your target is the Templar captain of his military reserve. Ah, there he is. You can create like a massive explosion here. Just kind of need him to go over there. Guess we could lure the guys by berserking the guy over there. That is until he goes back to the side. How far in am I? So currently we are in sequence 10 and we're just finishing up with the last assassin contracts and Templar hunts. So very soon we will be finished with the game. Probably in the next stream actually. I'm not going over to the explosives, so that's annoying. Oh, I guess you just have to kill him like that then.
¡Lo tengo encañonado!
Did I chaotic? So which other games have I played from a chatter then?
Tú, detente! ¡Un hombre! ¡Se da la fuga!
Where's his knife? He should have had a knife, but maybe it didn't spawn yet, since I didn't get in combat there. Let's get one of them, because it can be a really good stealth tool. There we go. Now we have one throwing knife, which we can use as like a stealth range kill. Oh, very nice, chaotic. Yeah, I do love GTA 4. The DLCs are also excellent, especially the Ballad of Gay Tony DLC. Hey there, Edit, Berserker, welcome in. Shipment of powder. A Templar associate is said to be visiting Havana to conclude a trade deal of immense importance to the Order. Find him and put a stop to his schemes. Okay, there he is. It worked. Okay, that's enough, edit. Can't just come in here and tell me what to do all the time. Just talk bullshit. Next time just read the rules of a channel before you write something in there.
Alguien le ha dado la cabeza.
Otro majadero veo.
What'd you find out?
Managed to nab a pickpocket. Slyboots had a map. Something about storehouses and gunpowder.
I did some research too. It's clear as day. The whole operation's run by that Templar scoundrel Hilary Flint.
That's the same name from the map.
He's using pickpockets to run an arms race.
Against who?
Me.
He's in the lead, I take it.
Yes, but with your map, we can destroy his weapon stores to catch up.
Let's waste no time.
Alguien le ha dado la cabeza.
Black cover all just falling down. Oh. Seriously. So because they fall down, it means people are going to uncover them uncover me more easily because in investigation mode. It's kind of annoying. It is kind of like creating a checkpoint after each powder reserve. That's good. Eva Helisi, welcome in. Clears off a second location here. Let's craft a couple of steep darts here again. Oh no. No. Why? Seriously? Did you see that? I was like literally looking at the guard up there. And it was like jumping down to air assassinate somebody that wasn't even in my like camera angle. Oh, that's things that can happen, I guess. I shouldn't have been too hasty there.
¿Tienes una forma rápida de llegar al túnel?
Hasta puedo contarte.
Borracho. Llévese esa cara.
¡Listo para disparar! Enemigo a tiro, señor.
Creo que puedo darle.
Okay, freaking finally. This mission's done.
Whoa.
This one was a bit of a tricky one with other guards. And the fact, of course, that we had to create like a high-profile scenario by, you know, exploding the reserves, I guess. Which means you gotta make sure that nobody's able to see you afterwards. So yeah, killing most of the guards inside. Unlicensed dealer. Antonio Rueda, a Templar associate, is trading weapons and explosives in Havana's trade district. Find him, end his business, end his life.
Muy bien, muchas gracias.
¡Tú acabas en un ataúd!
¿Qué le habrá poseído? Creía que lo había visto todo.
Oh! Oh yeah, shit. shitting me, Edward. I'm just trying to get down there, and he's like jumping on top of a guy instead. So the thing is, in this game you can actually do parkour down, right, with high profile B forward. But if you press that, then if there's anybody nearby, then Edward will also kind of like jump onto them, get down. Kind of like a jump grab, I guess, kind of like a thing. But I'm actually not gonna count this one because it's not inside the assassination location, and the target didn't get alerted or anything. That location had nothing to do with the mission in itself.
Los templarios estarán contentos. Buen trabajo.
Prefiero un templario en el trono que el rey actual.
Yo no diría eso en público, caballero. Nunca se sabe quién puede estar escuchando.
Lo siento, señor.
De todas formas, no me gusta escucharlo. ¡Intento darnos esquinazo!
Alright, that finishes another assassin contract, which means we have one left up here. Botched escape. Some murderous criminals have escaped from the fort and are hoping to flee from Havana at the first opportunity. Find and kill them.
¡Entrégame al asesino! No te lo volveré a preguntar. ¡Responde o perderás la lengua!
Yeah, I think this is kind of like a force detection scenario here, actually.
¡Tráeme al asesino! ¿Quieres que te lleve a la prisión del gobernador? Eso es lo que quieres. ¡Alto ahí!
Is it?
¡Alto! ¡Quiero hablar contigo! ¡Intenta despistarnos! ¡Atacad por ambos lados!
This guy, isn't it? Oh, never mind, there he is. What was that other guy about then? Was it connected to the quest?
¡Lo tengo a tiro! Creo que puedo darle.
Right, but yeah, that finishes all of the assassin contracts, which means now we have unlocked the pistol swords, which actually have really unique killing animations, combining the aspect of the pistols with the sword fighting, which is pretty cool actually. We want to equip them here for the next mission. I'm not gonna count the detection here because from memory, if you locate your target, it's gonna like try to run from you, which means you're kind of like forced into combat either way. So yeah, I'm gonna count this towards the challenge either. Let's go ahead and check out the pistol swords here. A pair of rare and authentic pistol swords, famous for explosive finishes.
Hecho. Vuelva cuando quiera.
And then we can go ahead and finish the last Templar hunt. Let's do it. Whatever it is.
Edward, we've reduced that Templar cad Flint to a fraction of his power. The only thing standing between you and your key now is Flint himself.
You have an approach in mind?
I'll engage him in combat, and you circle around carefully and, well, you know the rest.
Suddenly squeamish, Rhona. Can't quite bring yourself to kill him.
Of course not. I just don't want you to feel like I'm telling you what to do.
I think that injury must have left you with a touch of fever.
Can we go now?
Let's.
Oh, he won't be hard to find. Cheeky bastard. Strutting about like a cock in a rock.
Admit it, Rhona. Deep down, you like the walk of that cock.
I can arrange to have you in Thumbikins if Floggin's too kind, Kenway.
What I miss the most is the fox hunt. Of course, there's plenty of other game to be found. One needs only be creative.
I'll distract him. You circle around for the kill. Hey, Flint! Hey, Flint! Ha! Not much of a shot, are you, Flint? I should, after studying you for so long. And how many men have you sent after me?
So she kind of creates open conflict, which means you really gotta be careful not to get into the restricted area too quick. Otherwise you might get insta-detected. I'm gonna try to really go from the backside there. Try to avoid that these snipers will come into my vision range. Still gotta stay close to Rhona though. It's gonna be tricky because they're literally investigating everything, so this might be a force detection. That they're just running around there. It's like almost impossible not to get detected if they're in this state, and if they even get close to seeing you. Go up here. This is such bullshit. Yeah, I'm just gonna count as a force detection here.
I knew we would end in fire. I always thought our positions would be reversed. Should have died happier, knowing there was one less assassin in the world. What a pity. We could never fight together on the correct side of things.
Would, you two like a moment alone?
No. It's too late. Take it. His charm's all used up. Let the memory of him be locked away for good.
But unfortunately there was no way not to get detected there really. I couldn't climb the wall to like quickly get to him to assassinate. And they were like insta-detecting me on site, essentially. That's right. Nothing we can do there. But yeah, that finishes the last Templar hunt, and with that we have unlocked all of the 5 Templar keys. Which means now we can go ahead and go to the home base, unlock the Templar armor. But yeah, before we do that, let me go ahead and actually add that to the outfit reward here as well. All right. So, off to Great Inagua. But yeah, this basically finishes all of the major side missions as well now. Because the Templar hunts are done, the assassin contracts, the naval contracts. And those are basically the big 3 kind of like side mission types in this game. So the only thing left really when it comes to the side stuff is the mine stealies.
How are you, my friend?
Where I have to wait until we unlock more locations. Like the Observatory, of course. And what else? Modern Day, of course, but we still have to get that too.
A pleasure. Vraiment.
But yeah, the legendary ships are done too, so I think the Mind Stealers are really the only thing left now when it comes to side stuff. So now we can fully focus really on the main story of the rest of the playthrough here. Which is gonna be great because that means that on Wednesday next week we'll definitely be finishing the game. Like, guaranteed. And then we can start Watch Dogs with a stealth challenge. Which I'm actually super hyped for because I've never done a stealth challenge on a Watch Dogs game before. This looks so much like Shay's outfit, especially from the back. Unfortunately, that wasn't Shay the skeleton. He's yet to be born, I reckon. Yeah, that's a Templar armor. This one actually has a higher defense, I believe. It's pretty good for combat. Let's have a look at the database here because we still haven't read up on Rhona. Rhona Dinsmore. Born in Scotland, she was made for adventure. After suffering the loss of a depressed household, her father absent and her mother an alcoholic, throughout her childhood, Dinsmore left her home in Glasgow in her mid-teens. At 19, she found work amongst merchants in Bristol and remained at that post for nearly 2 years. By 21, Dinsmore was trapped in a terrible marriage. She fled again and sought refuge in Boston, where she remained for 6 months before moving on to the warmer climes of Jamaica. There she found it exceedingly difficult to find work among farmers and finally took to the sea, ultimately finding her calling within the Assassin Brotherhood. Notes: rumored terrible marriage, look at the facts, all her patterns after that are those of a con artist, even if her independence is a little inspiring. Anyone find confirmation of romantic ties to Hilary Flint yet? No, but there's sort of sarcasm. There's still room for love in that. The opposite of love isn't hate, it's indifference. Oh, you're a poet. See? That's exactly what I'm talking about. Hilary Flint was born to an aristocratic family, the youngest of 3 boys. The black sheep of the family, he sought solitude in his studies. Immersing himself in math and sciences, Flint discovered a particular interest in explosives, earning him the label of problem child. To correct his course, his parents enrolled him in military school, where he quickly worked his way into the hearts of many students and a few secret societies. After graduation, his connections earned him access to Templar ranks. His mellow nature and obsession with firearms made him an important asset. Records show an ongoing relationship with assassin Rhona Dinsmore, the nature of which is uncertain. She vanishes from record after his death at 35. He died at 35? That's so sad. Yeah, well, where there's smoke, there's probably explosives. Dinsmore was flighty. She'd already left one husband when she met Flint. Did anyone in Havana even know her husband existed? Kind of ironic he died to his explosives there. But yeah, that further indicates that it's kind of like scripted in a way where they want you to chase him down to the explosives and then kill him like that. Pretty much. With his own weaponry. Actually have a bit of money to spare, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and buy some art objects. Just to make the home base a bit fancier. You can buy the bed-nosed figurine. the Vulture vessel, the Triptych, the Tripod vessel with a date glyph, the Standard Bearer, the Seated Semi-Figure, the Pedestal Bow, the Pectoral Disc, the Maze Deity, a jar with ritual scene, bust of a water deity, a Taino bust, an earth monster relief, an ego figurine, and finally the deity figurine. There we go. So all of the art pieces bought and are now displayed in the home base. Let's have a quick look if we can refill anything for the Jector.
What have you been eating today, then? One bit of business left.
Alright, and then it's time for some main story, I guess. To start off with sequence 10 and find the location of the Observatory. Hey there, Eli, welcome in. Have you missed the sounds from the menus? Have you? I do like that sound design. Some of the sound effects.
All quiet on the first watch, sir. Captain has the helm.
Okay, and we have to go all the way down here to the southwest. I gave him your like damn good old times game. Yeah, that's fair. Sometimes you associate certain sounds with certain times. Definitely happens to me too.
As much sail as you can. I know she's a good sailor. Now prove it, my trumps.
Definitely have that kind of nostalgia with AC1 and 2 too. So many iconic sounds in there. Especially kind of like the Animus related ones.
And when we get to shipwreck Jack ahoy! Still alive, Captain. Is there will drink and sorrow drown. Good morning.
You had the Unity menu song and took you back real hard. Yeah, the track is fantastic. I love the main theme for Unity with the menu. I think Unity in general had a really underrated soundtrack.
We'll swing around, we'll have good fun with a hero home. And soon we'll be back on the homeward run. Good morning, ladies, home. And when we get to Bristol town with a hero home, for the very last time we'll waltz around.
I'm doing good, thank you, Eli, for asking. Having a nice chill weekend so far. Getting to stream on a Saturday, which is always nice. And yeah, we're getting quite close actually to finishing off Black Flag. Only got 3 more sequences to go. How are you doing?
Ah, Captain Kenway. Shall we use your ship for this next scheme or mine?
I'd first hear the details before deciding.
Oh, it's a small Gambit. This fount of information has just told me that a nearby galleon contains the treasure I seek. For his sake, I hope he's right.
You've thought this plan through?
Indeed. Using this man, we'll acquire a Portuguese flag, which will get us as close to our target as possible. It's a very simple idea, if you follow my orders to the letter.
The jackdaw, then.
Excellent.
We're underway, Roberts. So what's your plan?
The flagship of this fleet is transporting a valuable treasure in a large chest. Crystal phials filled with blood. You may remember.
We're chasing drams of blood. Is that all?
I asked you to follow my instructions to the letter, Captain, but I did not give you leave to question why. I want those blood vials intact, and if that does not happen, we part as enemies. Do you understand?
I'll try to, aye.
I gotcha, Elaine.
Your accent.
It's definitely fair. You know, if you gotta work on a weekend. But hopefully you get a day off soon during the week or something instead. Also, I'm not sure if you just resubbed or not, Elaine, because the sub badge just appeared. But if you did, then thank you for resubbing. Sometimes it doesn't get shared unless you reload the stream, I guess. But yeah, thank you if you did.
Is it the west you come from?
Exactly right. A tiny town called Casnewydd Bar.
Not heard of it.
Aye, you have. I always fancied it should have a placard placed at its borders. Welcome to Casnewydd Bar, the town you have just passed.
From Swansea, myself.
Ah, a teeming metropolis by comparison.
Loose stunts. I'm off the wind, son.
There's the thing for us, Captain. You see that ship here? We'll need its flag for this ruse to work.
If I can steal their flag without disturbing so much as a flea, I'll do it.
By all means, try.
Okay, we gotta stay out of combat here.
Que Deus abençoe ao rei Dom João. Que Deus o guarde e proteja, senhor. Como se encontra nesta noite tão formosa? Bem, obrigado. Só um pequeno passeio pelo norte. Está tudo em ordem por enquanto? Sim, senhor. Tudo em ordem, senhor. Estamos apenas à espera que o nosso navio almirante seja reabastecido.
So since they're distracted, I can kind of like go behind the back here up. Just gonna wait for this guy to go back again. Because he is actually still patrolling.
Dos nossos 42 navios, diria que mais de 2/3 são embarcações mercantis.
There's a sniper here, which we have to avoid. Actually, two of them.
Sim, senhor, exatamente. Daí
Oh, fuck. You know. Why did the airport not just go on top of there? Had to like still climb. Yeah, Edward isn't doing exactly what I want him to do today.
This scallywag gives us away. I'll paint the quarterdeck with his brains.
Oh, saudações, cavalheiro! E que Deus abençoe ao rei Dom João. Que Deus o guarde e proteja, senhor. Como se encontra nesta noite tão formosa? Bem, obrigado. Sim, senhor. Tudo em ordem, senhor. Estamos apenas à espera que o nosso navio almirante seja reabastecido antes de zarpar. E julgo que um dos nossos navios mercantes da nossa frota necessita de um novo mastro.
Há homens em terra neste momento em busca de uma árvore que sirva de tal propósito. Não. Quantos nuvens serão? Compõem a maior parte da nossa frota, senhor. Dos nossos 42 navios, diria que mais de 2/3 são embarcações mercantis. Uma confusão. Não duvido que estejam com Sim, senhor, exatamente. Daí as nossas precauções. Com tantos piratas nestas águas, esta frota necessita de bastante proteção. Não é uma tarefa leve guardar quase 3 dúzias de navios. Imagino que não. Peço perdão, senhor, mas não estou a reconhecer o seu navio. Nem sequer transporta a bandeira do rei. Sim, pois. Falando de pirata, este perigo foi retirado de quantos partidos para ficar comigo. Ainda não tivemos a oportunidade para o reparar. Excelente trabalho, senhor. Prazer falar consigo, jovem. Entregue os meus cumprimentos ao seu capitão.
Certo, senhor. Ele de momento está a dormir. Vai lamentar não ter tido a oportunidade para falar consigo.
Até à próxima. E que Deus nos abençoe.
Okay, that works.
You got the flag?
Aye, and we're flying it now. This should do this.
I'll keep my distance. Slow and steady.
Aye. The flag we stole won't protect us from eyes that pry too long.
Por favor, senhor. Imploro-lhe que considere aquilo que está prestes a fazer.
Now é possível.
What's he whinging about?
He's not whinging, he's ecstatic.
Yeah, ecstatic. Be about to die. I was just wondering, actually, doesn't Adivade speak English, French, and Spanish or something? Doesn't he understand the Spanish captain? I think it's in his database entry, actually. Yeah, owing to his fluent command of Spanish, English, and French. That's kind of funny, isn't it? That Adivade actually understands everything they're saying, technically. I mean, maybe this is an oversight or something. But you would think that if Adivade knows what they're talking about, you know, that he would fill in Edward or something. So that's, I guess, a bit of a plot hole, maybe.
What's there? All we've got.
Up ahead! They're unloading something from that ship!
Could that be our prize? Perhaps you should go ashore, Captain Kenway. Find that chest, and if it contains the prize I seek, bring it here. We'll tell this lot they're a ship ripe with fame. They'll not come near them lest they catch their dead.
Come on! Temos que falar com o capitão do navio! Olá! Peço perdão por isso. Deixe lá possível. É possível que ficamos encarnados pela guerra. E, a peste? Por Deus! Nunca isso acontecer!
senhor. Nós transmitimos a mensagem. Então, daquele livro, estão afetados pela pedra. O que vamos fazer?
Rafael, desperta uns quantos homens e remem até aquele brilho. Eles dizem que foram atacados pela peste, mas eu quero vê-los mais perto. História sobre um espanhol que veio visitar o nosso almirante. Cá para mim, era uma traição.
Sim, ouvi dizer que se chamava Torres.
Yeah, I think it's time for a berserk party here. Come on. Go up to the sniper and kill him. Or not, I guess.
The chest they hauled ashore was full of empty vials. Where's our Portuguese captain?
He had outlived his usefulness.
Where is he?
Sleeping soundly at the bottom of the sea.
How many men must we kill for a simple prize?
As many as drift into our path.
What the fuck? It just drove straight into me, you see that? Instead of trying to dodge. Ah, freaking great. I was like literally dodging to the left and the ship was like driving straight into me instead of like going the other way. Welcome back, Harbinger.
That's
Our treasure must be aboard that galleon. Why don't you take the ship itself and save us a bit of time?
Aye, that's the way I play it.
I can bring the jackdaw closer, but those lookouts will be a problem.
Well spotted. I'll clear them off first.
Também não estou ansioso pela viagem de volta a Lisboa.
Ouviste falar do que aconteceu àqueles piratas britânicos em Nassau? Dom Jorge enviou um dos seus homens para os tirar de lá. E parece que ele fez um bom trabalho.
Ja, plötzlich tatsächlich Friend hier. This mission.
Está a fazer o turno esta noite? Ou foste tu ontem? Por Deus, estou a perder a conta aos dias.
Maria, não se pode jogar as cartas do convés!
Passa aqui!
We've been spotted. Took them long enough.
To quarters all, man the cannons! Every last hand!
On your command, Captain! Let's hear the roar of this beast!
And up some sail!
Yeah, that's a bit of damage here. The chase outfit. Do we have a Templar among us? Yeah, that's the Templar armor you unlock from doing all of the Templar hunts. Jesus, that water damage is insane.
Here's my prize! Ah, the Templars have been busy, I see. Lawrence Prince's blood. Useless now. Woods Rogers, Ben Hornigold, even Torres himself. Small quantities kept for a special purpose.
You must take me to the Observatory, Roberts. I need to know what it is.
To what end, eh? Will you sell it from under my nose? Or work with me and use it to bolster our gain?
Whatever improves my lot in life.
How ridiculous. A merry life and a short one, that's my motto. It's all the optimism I can muster. All right, Captain Kenway. You've earned a look.
Oh yeah, glad we got this one done. Because it's probably one of the trickiest one to get over full sync objectives for. Staying out of combat and being completely stealthy the entire mission is one thing. But then you also gotta use a rope swing to kill the captain. And if you don't time it right and you miss it, then that means possibly not being able to restart our checkpoint and having to redo the entire mission. Only to then possibly fail the rope swing again. So yeah, that timing can be quite tricky to pull off if you haven't done it before. The first time I tried to 100% this, I think it took me like 5 tries or something. Really frustrating.
Bane's out, let's go!
Alright. Time to finally witness the observatory.
Loose all and trim sharp to the wind!
Wo I'm actually gonna switch back to Edward's classic ropes, yeah? If I could, but I can't, apparently. That's interesting.
Captain's loose and catch the wind!
Why can't I change my outfit? We have a shopkeeper here? Nope. Okay, let's just go to Kingston real quick, just so we can make sure. Change our outfit accordingly here.
Buongiorno. How are you, my friend? royals! Douse the royals! Tom! I said douse!
How about you, Harbinger? I mean, if you want, you can still redeem a new outfit before I start the next main mission. But no worries, I can always go back to Kingston real quick and choose another one. Anything is better than one ahead. Fair enough. Yeah. Not a big fan of the Templar armor either. At least for Edward, you know. I don't think it looks bad or anything, but it's definitely not the most fitting one for him to wear. And it does remind me a bit too much of Shay too, that's for sure.
Stand there, Captain! Look back!
So I think this would actually be a good time to read up on Bartholomew Roberts' database entry. Now that he's kind of like established his own crew and ship, you know, because now he really has become the captain that he is known for in the database. Originally hailing from Wales, little is known about John Roberts, the real name of a man who could come to be known as Black Bart long after his death. Most assume he went to sea at a very young age, at 13 or so, but there's no record of him in any historical documents until his noted appearance in 1718 aboard a merchant ship, Barbadian in origin. Just a year later, our picture of Robert's life sharpens considerably. We now know he was present in piracy by the notorious Howard Davos, while working aboard a slave ship under Captain Abraham Plump. And though Roberts had likely not gone to sea with the intent of becoming a pirate, when the opportunity thrust itself upon Roberts, was reported to have said to him, "Merry life and a short one shall be my motto." A few months later, Davis was killed in an ambush on the Portuguese island of Principe, and Roberts was swiftly and anonymously elected to replace him. This was surely a testament to the man's natural charisma and leadership, for he had been a pirate only a few months. It was at this point he took the name Bartholomew, likely naming himself for the infamous Bartholomew Sharp, a pirate of some renown who had disappeared just 2 decades earlier. One of the most intelligent and strategic pirates of the Golden Age, Roberts was a sturdy, handsome man, known to dress in fine clothes. A handsome man who carried himself with a dignified but unpretentious air. He had a dark hair to match his dark complexion, likely set from the almost 2 decades he had spent at sea. He often carried numerous pistols, each tied to one end of a long silk sashes, which he kept slung over his shoulder. His tactical ideas were usually radical, but thoughtfully considered. He never jumped into any scheme rashly, though his ideas seemed almost suicidal to those unacquainted with his methods. Ultimately responsible for the theft of around 400 ships in his 3 years career, he bested every other pirate at the sea by a factor of 10 times or more. Although it must be said that at least half of his boats were small periaguas and the like. They should have made the Tower one from Origins available in all of the games. Yeah, the Bath Tower look. That's definitely the most iconic one. Especially with the hood on, you know. That's like the true assassin style. Hey there, Oscar, welcome in. How much of the game have I played? So we are currently in sequence 10 with all of the side missions done. So yeah, definitely quite close to finishing off the game. Almost done with it. Murder and Mayhem.
Can you feel it, Addy? We're moments away from the grandest prize of all.
I feel nothing but a hot wind in my ears, Captain.
Come on, man. When we take this treasure, we'll be set for life, all of us. 10 times over.
As you wish.
Ahoy, Roberts! We'll cast anchor and meet ashore.
You were followed, Captain Kenway. How long for, I wonder?
It's Hornigold!
Burn and flay that turncoat.
Deal with your old friend in haste, Captain, before I regret my favor to you.
Captain, think carefully about what you mean to do here.
What are you grousing about, Ade? It's Ben Hornigold come to kill us out there.
Aye, and the traitor needs to die. But what then? Can you say with certainty that you deserve the Observatory more than he and his Templars?
No, I can't, and I don't care to try. But if you've a better idea, by all means, tell me.
Forget working with Roberts. Tell the assassins. Bring them here and let them protect this place.
Aye, I'll bring them here. If they're willing to pay me a good sum for it.
Oh, Edward. Don't be so freaking selfish.
Fight if Hornigold draws us any deeper into this fog. We're nearing the Devil's backbone.
You mean them crags that look like the backbone of a beast?
Aye. El Espinazo del Diablo, Spaniards call it.
Reef in, all tops!
Oh boy.
Crew up tops! Douse those men!
Loose and trim too! As much sail as you can!
Unfurl aloft! Man your seat!
Coming after us, son!
Come on. He's... was way too closer.
Cruise up! Eat us!
Hey, somehow we didn't get detected.
All sail! All sail!
Loose topsails, gallants and royals!
Their ship stove is something else in this game.
Douse all but main!
Studs up with a will!
Loose main sails!
Aloft, lads! Check those royals!
Trim the yards off the wind!
Stunsails in! Clue up!
Crowd it all on!
And
All in the stunsail!
Trim off the wind, my boys!
Every last scrap of duck on the wind!
Okay, let's hope I can surpass here. I think so. There we go. We can chase him down.
Incoming shipment!
I will be coming back.
Yep. Gotta air assassinate Hornigold here.
I know this bastard, and I've seen what he can do. He'll be after me, sure as I'm standing here. Hold your ground, and be ready for anything.
Okay, let's wait if he has more dialogue here. Before we assassinate him. Doesn't seem like.
You could have been a man who stood for something. But you've a killer's heart now. With nothing but metal to show for all your blunders.
Tamside better than you, Ben. The heart of a traitor who thinks himself better than his mates.
Aye, and proven true. What have you done since Nassau fell, huh? Nothing but murder and mayhem.
You threw in with the very kind we once hated!
No! These Templars are different. I wish you could see that. But if you continue on your present course, you'll find you're the only one walking it. With the gallows at its end.
It may be. But now the world has one less snake in it. And that's enough for me.
You can really tell how much it pains Edward to do this, you know, the moment he assassinated Benjamin Hornigood, because he was truly a friend, you know, and like one of the more reasonable pirates as well. But ultimately he betrayed Edward and his friends, you know. I mean, yeah, he did warn them, but that didn't justify, you know, working with the people trying to hang the likes of Edward. But ultimately, you know, being responsible also a bit for Blackbeard's death in a way, you know. Because the pirates got betrayed from the inside, which is how they could surprise Blackbeard and his men. So, he's a traitor that needed to die. Okay, so before we go ahead to the next main story here, which actually is the Observatory, I'm gonna go back to Kingston again to fill up on my resources and ammunition. Guess technically we could also sell some clothing actually. How much do we get for this? 7k? Yeah, how about we go for 1000? Because we don't really need all of the clothing.
Bene, grazie amico.
Bene. An Italian merchant.
King Phil should look to his men's provision if he wants to keep his land.
Clues down! Catch some wind! Loose tops and royals!
Yeah, I love this Shanty 2 E-line. That's a good one. The Observatory.
Is that pirate hunter dead? Aye, by my own hand. Why is it you alone can find what so many want?
I was born with memories of this place. Memories of another time entirely, I think. Like another life I've already led.
Curse you for a lurch, man, and speak some sense.
Not today. After you, Captain. The path ahead is dangerous. The men native to this land will put up a fight, Edward. Are you willing to push back if necessary, huh? To kill if needed?
You'll hear from me soon.
Okay, so we can't actually kill any of the guardians here for the full sync. But also can't be detected, which is a bit tricky, you know, because they will insta-detect you sometimes if you don't spot them first. We gotta be very careful here before we advance. Make sure we spot all of the guardians. That's one. It's two. This one's a bit tricky because if you try to take them down in the bush, then you will attack them. Okay, this technically didn't get us attacked, so I'm not gonna count it. Jesus. That's what I mean. Probably have to just air assassinate them, pretty much. Do this one. Otherwise it doesn't work.
Stay close.
Sure enough, unexpected can happen in this mission. Yeah, surely. What should ever happen here, right? You still gotta make sure to also take them down from stalking zones. So one thing you can do is you can sleep dart them. And then take them down from where they're still standing. Like this. That counts. Gotta make sure we have 5 of them. This. So that's 2. Let's also loot them because it will give us back some darts actually. Also looking more for sleep darts here. Yeah, the air punch harbinger. That's it. Okay then. 3 out of 5. Fall. And 5. Oh, that's a bit macabre of viewpoint. But I guess that's what the Guardians do to anyone who invades. There's nothing on the side. We're actually getting close to the last letter though. I'm gonna have 2 opportunities to get it, so we don't have to necessarily get it in this run. This one can be tricky because if we actually decide to attack him on the edge there, then Edward's gonna try to punch him, which will get you detected, which is really stupid. But thankfully I remembered. Okay, I don't not want to sleep dart this guy, because if I do, then he falls down and would die. And I can only make sure to take them down with a fist here. Yeah, of course, also gotta make sure we take care of all of them as well. There's two of them here. Okay, off to the last jungle here. See if he has any more sleep darts. One of them. Oh yeah, this one can also be a bit tricky, to be honest.
Is this the observatory? All this?
All it needs is a drop of my blood.
But there was another mission where I had to do like lots of trial and error to figure out how to do this. Like, you know, figuring out that you have to attack outside of stalking zones when they're already asleep. Otherwise it gets you into combat for some stupid reason. Or the fact that you can't actually attack people who are on the edge of something and like crouching, because it will also create like a punch animation for Edward, getting you detected. So if I didn't know that, you know, I would probably have been detected here like a couple of times at least. And thrown into combat. There's supposed to be mine steely over here, right? Can I do this one, please? Because I think that's the last one I'm missing. So I can unlock the mine armor a bit quicker. There we go.
Ah, another Mayan keystone.
So, is that all of them? Let's actually have a quick look at the progress tracker to see. Ah, there's one on Isla Providencia that I haven't done, apparently. You don't like the fact that all the grindy outfits after Revelations are purely cosmetic? Yeah, that's fair, I guess. A lot of them are. In Black Flag though, they actually have some benefits. Like, for example, the stealth outfit you get for completing half of the assassin contracts actually makes it harder for enemies to spot you. So it gives you like a stealth advantage. Or the Templar armor gives you more resistance. And the mine armor, of course, makes you resistant to gunshots and stuff, since it deflects them. So there are some advantages to be had from the Black Flag outfits at least. But yeah, in Unity, of course, they're just purely cosmetic. In Syndicate, they do have benefits, I guess, but they're kind of like negligible. Then Origins, of course, again, is just purely cosmetic either.
And the door opens after almost 80,000 years.
Jesus, Roberts! Have you gone mad?
Quite the contrary, Edward. These wags would have gone mad at seeing what lies beyond this gate. But you... I suspect you're made of sterner stuff. Now, pick up that chest and carry it hither.
Yeah, he's just killing his own men here. Only question until he does the same to Edward. Hey, the gamer loop, welcome in. No worries whatsoever. Yeah, that's just kind of like a safety precaution, you know, because sometimes a troll would like join the Discord and post like inappropriate stuff. So to make sure that nobody's joining, that I haven't actually verified myself, I have this kind of like somebody has to have a rule first before they can see anything. Added to the server. But yeah, thank you for joining the Discord. Also, hey, the press, welcome in. Additionally, in Syndicate, the outfit is only for EV, which is kind of a bummer. That's true as well, you know. Would have been cool to have like an outfit or kind of like a reward for both of them at least. It was like unique to either. No worries, Game Loop. But yeah, hope everyone is having a good weekend so far.
Not quite as I remember, but it has been over 80 millennia.
Ah, rot. That's impossible.
Step as if on thin ice, Captain. I must say I'm quite taken by this new vocation of mine. And it may amuse you to know that I have authored my own articles of conduct.
A creed of your own, eh?
To keep the peace, yes. I forbid all gambling upon the deck, for instance, for it leads to more conflict than camaraderie. Desertion during battle is forbidden. And I require that all men keep their pieces and cutlasses clean and fit for service at all times.
Sensible.
And punishable by death if disobeyed.
Look at this place.
Beautiful, isn't it?
Aye. It's like something out of a fairy tale, or one of them old poems.
There were many stories about this place once. Tales that turned into rumors and again into legend. The inevitable process of facts becoming fictions before fading away entirely.
More blood vials.
Yes. These cubes contain the blood of an old and ancient people. A wonderful race in their time.
The more you talk, man, the less I understand.
I don't expect you to. Only remember this. The blood in those files is not worth a single real to anyone anymore. It may be again one day, but not in this epoch. Here we are.
What's that noise?
Ah, yes. A security measure. Just a moment. There we are.
So what is this place?
Think of it as a large spyglass, such as we sailors carry. A device capable of seeing great distances.
This is bloody witchcraft.
No, this is Mr. Jack Rackham, somewhere in the world at this moment.
NASA. Well, this is happening right now. We're seeing through his eyes.
Aye.
I don't know, Jim. I haven't the faintest idea how to pilot a ship. That ain't work a woman does.
Tosh. I've seen a score of ladies who can reef a sail and spin a capstan.
And would you teach me to fight? With a cutlass, like? And maybe handle a pistol?
All that and more. But you have to want it and work for it. There's no stumbling into true success.
Hey, lad! That's my lass you're making love to. You lay off, or I catch ya.
Up your ass, Rackham. Lad's the last thing you should be calling me.
Oh, is that right, is it? Lad?
A curious bunch. Let's try another. Governor Woods Rogers.
You have a bold idea, but I must think it carefully through.
A simple pledge of loyalty is all you need suggest to the House of Commons. An oath, a gesture, and a simple ceremonial dram of blood taken from the finger. That's all.
The ministers may give me trouble, but it should be easy enough to convince the House of Lords. They do adore an excess of pomp and circumstance.
Exactly. Tell them it's a show of fealty to the king against those revolting Jacobites.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, these Templars.
The crucial detail is the blood. You must get a sample from each man. We want to be ready when we find the observatory.
Agreed.
A precious tool, you see.
Sorcery, that's what it is.
Not so! Every mechanism that gives this device its light is a true and physical thing. Ancient, yes, but nothing supernatural or strange.
We'll be masters of the ocean with that.
Oh, such ambition.
Yeah, Mr. White! Yes, science!
There is nothing in my code about loyalty, boy. You played your role, but our partnership is done!
You're a dead man, Roberts!
What a bastard. Betrayed us. But that was to be expected, you know, like Edward truly played with fire there. There have been literally so many warning shots, you know, and it was still just after, you know, finally finding the Observatory, the grand prize. There we go. The entrance is locked off. So now we gotta find an alternative way getting out of here. But it's kind of interesting, since you posted the Soundbit the Harbinger with science. Because it's a common misconception, you know, that some people think it's just like witchcraft, sorcery, you know, fantasy. But all of the pieces of Eden are basically based on an advanced technology. You know, that's definitely logical and isn't like something fantastical. And that's what, you know, the Sage here is again confirming, and he must know. Because, you know, he's like literally one of the guys who has created some of the pieces of Eden and the technology behind them. Yeah, Harbinger, I figured. That's why you use it. That's really something we should embrace a bit more again, because games like Odyssey made it out and made it seem like, you know, it is indeed fantasy, not something logical. But yeah, AC ain't no fantasy genre, you know, it's sci-fi.
Roberts!
Oh, split your brisket! Oh, your jackdaw's flown, Edward. Eh? That's the beauty of a democracy. The many outvote the one. Oh, you could sail with me, but with a temper as hot as yours, I fear you'd burn us all to cinders. Luckily, I know the king's bounty on your head is a large one, and I intend to collect. Have you ever seen the inside of a Jamaican prison, boy? Have you?
Yeah, rip. So that's how Edward gets into captivity and into prison, like many other pirates of the time. You know, Jack Rackham, Stede Bonnet, even Charles Vane, all of them have been captured as well.
Hello? How are you? If you're anxious, that'll pass. It's the Midazolam. I'm sorry about this, but we've had so many security breaches, we were forced to take drastic action. And Olivier is missing. He left for Chicago 2 days ago, but no one's seen him since. I know this seems excessive, but with our high-level security clearance, we have an obligation to our shareholders. Rest assured, we will compensate you when the hacker is found. So get some rest, okay? And if you're up to it, maybe capture some more footage? You're doing amazing work. I can't wait to show you the work we've been doing with your stuff. Take care.
So it's like, yeah, you know, we just had to kidnap you basically and imprison you because there's a security breach. And even though we have no idea who it was, you know, we're just gonna capture everyone who could potentially have something to do with it. I mean, to be fair, you know, we did do it together with John from IT, but they don't know that, you know. And they've done the same with like other guys on the Subject 17 project.
So, they tossed you in the bunker. Nice. Those Templars upstairs aren't taking any chances. I think we need to erase all the dirt they might have on you. Did you hear that? I think I just gave you level 3 security clearance. Now, head to the security room and use the cameras to watch the door to the server farm. Unfortunately, Melanie's in there now, so when I escort her out, that's when you make your move. I'd wipe these servers myself, but as the head of IT, I'd be a suspect. It has to be someone they've already locked up. All right, listen, I'm entering the server room now. When you see us leave, get in there.
Another QR code. I'm still missing number 1 here, so I'm just gonna read all of these notes also back to back once I've collected all of them. Currently we're missing 5.
There's no need for you to be down here by yourself, Miss LeMay. My team will handle the investigation.
But you need an extra set of eyes on this thing, John. We don't even know when the hackers broke in. It could take weeks to go through this data.
1, at most.
Still too long. I can't keep my team locked up for a week.
Legally you can. It's what they signed up for, even if they didn't read their contracts.
Yes, of course. I just hate the idea. So what's the next step?
My team is processing the data now. We'll start sifting through it tonight. Scout's honor. Coffee's on me, okay?
It's like, legally you can. Yes, but it makes me feel bad about it. Oh, wake up, you're working for Abstergo. Working in general for that company should make you feel bad with your position of being a director. But she's just fine.
Alright, I ditched her at the coffee stand. Find a server containing the network logs. Since I have a record of each and every one of your hacks, we'll just search for the timestamps on those and turn that data into something harmless. Easy as that. Here we are. Beautiful. I'll update your communicator one more time. A little program I cooked up just for this purpose. There we go. I think that worked. Try it out.
The dawn of the deadly 18th century. Rogues and sailors band together to live their lives by the sword. With no laws or morals, no gods, and no fear. Only betrayal, mutiny, cruelty, and debauchery. There is plunder to be found on golden beaches. Will you risk life and soul to fight the pirates of nightmares? Benjamin Hornigold, Calico Jack, Charles Vane, and Blackbeard?
And there you go. So that's a primer of a brutal history of Caribbean pirates. So still Abstergo intern. And what's funny is, you know, this one is already kind of like very stereotypical about showing the pirate age, of course. But they actually make it a lot worse with the final trailer they're using for the Devils of the Caribbean. With like really bad on-purpose voice acting, of course. But even, you know, more stereotypical cliches, essentially. Like this one is really good in comparison. But yeah, we're gonna see the trailer at the end. The updated version.
I can feel you, Cypher. Feel. But hardly touch. Signal is still too weak, and I am spread thin. Unfocused. Like static and fog. Lingering in networks and nodes. The nervous system of the world.
Can you hear?
Perhaps the temple was opened too soon. But this was not by choice. The cataclysm pushed all doubt aside. We bless poor Desmond, who gave his life so that you, the children of our labors, would live on, to fulfill your purpose in ours, in mine. But now is not the time. My strength is not sufficient to inhabit an organic vessel. There is more work to do, more samples to acquire, more artifacts to find before my will can obtain.
What's happening? Tell me!
Make me whole again, my children, my instruments. Bring me forth to fulfill your purpose.
Tell me! No, no, no! Something's wrong! God damn it! She should be here! Now! Living in that goddamned head of yours! Fuck, 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 fuck! Why did she spare you? Why are you still here?
Yeah, as you can now see, his plan ultimately was for Juno, his beloved, you know, to take over our body. But that didn't work, of course. Not yet. Juno isn't ready. They can't take over a body yet. It will happen though after the events of Syndicate. But yeah, she's not ready yet. After you bought some strawberries but you're too afraid to eat them, read an article about insects and bugs that leave eggs in the fruits, and tap water is enough to get rid of them. Damn. That's definitely a bit scary, I guess, you know? Like, eating something that might be contaminated with that. On the other hand, I guess, logically speaking, it shouldn't affect you in a bad way to eat the strawberries either way. Not like the insect's gonna grow inside you or something. But, I mean, what you could be doing, if you don't wanna, you know, deal with any potential, like, eggs or something, then you could maybe make marmalade out of the strawberries, because fresh homemade marmalade out of strawberries is so damn delicious. Yeah, I would definitely agree with Press that rinsing it good is probably still, you know, you should be alright eating them. I mean, I've ate like counters of strawberries in my life, also like straight out of the garden and stuff, you know. and I was always fine. So I think you should be too, Harbinger. But yeah, fresh homemade marmalade, still really delicious. I can recommend. And it's actually surprisingly not that difficult to make. Just need to have like marmalade sugar, essentially. Just mix it together with the crushed up strawberries. And, you know, cook it for a couple minutes. Put it in glasses and you're good to go, essentially. But yeah, this finishes the modern day Abstergo Interlude already, at least according to the main story. But of course there's much more we could do now. Can collect QR codes. Oh, that's actually number 1. Perfect. I'm still gonna wait until I have all of them before I read them though. And we can also hack a couple computers. Not gonna do all of it now though. But I'm gonna at least start on hacking some of the computers here. You can even see another one having an Abstergo session here. I'm still gonna explore his room just to see if there's any QR code or something. Number 17 and another computer. Ah yeah, another great mind in history. Noble of birth, noble in action, Robert de Sable rose to serve as a Grand Master of the Templar Order in 1191. His tenure was short, but his impact was great. Fighting alongside Richard the Lionheart, he laid siege to Acre and broke Saladin's ranks. Dogged by assassins throughout his tenure, he was ultimately martyred by one such nameless malefactor. Yeah, nameless. Atayir ibn Lahat, legendary mentor of the Assassin Brotherhood, is a nameless malefactor, apparently. Okay, can we go on another floor? Let's have a look around on this floor at least. It's gonna have a good look around. So is the server side? I don't think there was any QR code here. Quite sure, but I'm still gonna have a good look around just in case. Good here. Then we have the security. Been in here and there wasn't another QR code either. Ah yeah, that's the way to the elevator. And as you can see, the other one's actually grayed out. Which means this is all the modern day we can do for now. and the rest we have to do before ending the main game, essentially. I kinda wish it was paced a bit differently, you know, because that way you have to do sequence 11 and 12, and then all of the other modern day unlocks just before the final cutscene, you know, for Edward. Which means you're like essentially spending an hour between the ending and the epilogue. Unless you want to do all of the modern day stuff afterwards, which I don't, I think. But yeah, that also means this is gonna be what I would call it today for this stream of Black Flag. As I said earlier, I only want to do like 3 to 4 hours total. But yeah, I'm really glad with the progress we've made, because now next time we can really focus on finishing the last 2 sequences, modern day, and then finally the epilogue, and there's nothing else left really. So yeah, the next stream we will be doing with this on Wednesday is definitely gonna be the last for Black Flag, that's for sure. Abaja, the first time I played Black Flag, you completely ignored the database, all of it, and was so confused with the story. I don't blame you, dude. I mean, the database really fills in so many details for a lot of characters that if you don't read them, you know, it really like takes away quite a bit from the lore and story. Some games definitely do a better job of like handling the database than others. I think Black Flag isn't one of the best games how it handles the database, because character entries actually don't pop up for you, which means you really gotta go out of your way to read up on a character's history. But the games like AC2, for instance, have done such a great job pacing the database, like both in its content but also when they pop up. AC2 is probably my favorite database in any AC game, and also the first one to have it in that way. But yeah, you try the Unity and AC3 that you played recently, but there are so many entries, it gets tiresome. Yeah, it really does. You know, even just reading the event and people database entries for AC3, which I did, took a lot of time. And there's like so much they go like in depth with. And Unity is definitely much the same, since there's like so much historical events that you follow up upon. And of course both revolutions have been detailed very much. So yeah, there's lots and lots to learn, which is cool on one side, but if you're literally reading everything in the game, then it gets a bit too much sometimes. And Unity's entries can also be quite long. But yeah, for Unity I will also only stick to the people database entries and events, I guess. But not gonna be reading anything beyond that. Especially in AC3 you have received a new email, leave the enemies to read it. No game I want to keep playing. Usually I kind of like power them up, these emails, and then try to read them before a sequence ends. So you can read them like back to back pretty much. That can be a bit weird with the timing, of course, because sometimes, you know, something happens in modern day while you get the email, and then that email is kind of like not really up to date anymore to what's been happening. For example, what comes to mind are the emails with William when he's like in Cairo looking for another power source. Sorry, I just had to mute myself here for a sec. Had to call my doggo. But yeah, either way, this is gonna be where we call it today for AC4 Black Flag. I do want to thank you all so much for coming by and for joining me for more of this game. The next stream you will see from me will be on Monday. We're gonna be jumping back into some Uncharted 2 Among Thieves. And then Tuesday I won't be streaming. And Wednesday we're gonna come back to Black Flag to finish it off, and possibly even start Watch Dogs if we have enough time, because the last 2 sequences here won't take all that much time, to be honest. What's gonna take more time is gonna be reading up on all the modern day stuff, I guess. No worries, Eli and Donna. Thank you guys for being here and for joining. Thanks also Harbinger, Gamer Loop, Press, and everyone else who's still in here.
Take my sugar! Take anything you like!
Take my sugar. Anything you like. I'm just gonna have a quick look if Rod is still streaming. He seems to actually have finished with China and is now working on India. Playing through the series of AC games, he's currently working on the Chronicles games and doing individual challenges. So for India, it's a silencer challenge apparently. Which means he can only, I think can only do like melee takedowns, like non-lethal ones maybe? Not too sure. But yeah, we're gonna go over there and find out how he's doing and how the challenge is going today. Yeah, if you want to come along with a raid, feel free to copy and paste these raid emotes as well. And yeah, I will see you guys on Monday again. Until then, I hope you all have a great rest of your weekend and catch you all in the next one.